This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
PlayStation Pop Experience, Pop Goes to Movies, is back. Howdy, I'm Andy Atherton. I am bringing you on a journey through a clash of the titans, so to speak. We are here to talk about the newest big film in theaters and on HBO Max. That is Godzilla vs. Kong. But I'm not here alone. Tonight it's just a duo, a pair, I can't think of any of the similes. Just two of us. A guy that I'm on a lot of shows with, and I love podcasting with him. Normally, we're talking about streaming shows on Pop Goes the Couch, or we're talking about, big movies. This could be a future Blockbuster Rewind title if we ever do Godzilla or Kong. This is my friend, Scott Shifflett. Hey, Scott, how you doing?
Andy, thanks for having me on tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing if other people think the same way I thought about this movie. So yeah. Just leaving it at that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was fun. No, that's all. That's my 2-second review. But before we get to this movie, let's kind of talk about these two titans of movies. They have had great histories. So we'll start with Godzilla. What's your history with Godzilla? Have you been a Godzilla fan all along? Are you familiar with some of the other movies? Did you see the movies that are part of this, I guess, cinematic universe leading up to there? So talk about your Godzilla knowledge or fandom, if there is one.
Yeah, my first Godzilla movie that I saw was the '98 shitty Godzilla movie with Matthew Broderick.
That sucked.
As a young kid, I was 9 at the time when it came out. Me and my little brother Justin loved that movie. I think he broke the VHS by accident because that's how many times he watched the movie. And then we watched a couple of the original Godzilla movies as well.
Like the Toho ones, yeah.
Yeah. My little brother was in love with it more than I was, but I saw the one with Tim Capel's favorite, Quicksilver and Pietro with. That one in the theater. That actually movie was my first IMAX movie because I was like, it's a monster movie. I got to go see it in IMAX. So that movie was passable. I was expecting more. With these big monster movies, I don't really care about the story. I just want to see the monsters fight. So if you try to force a story upon me, I'm not gonna like it. So spoilers. But yeah, that was what I had with that, and I didn't watch the second Godzilla movie. I think that was before I got Movie Pass, AMC stubs. So I was like, I'm not going to spend $20 just to see that.
Oh, that's the one leading up to this one.
Yes,
where it was Godzilla, King of All Monsters.
Yes,
I saw it. I thought it was fine for what it was. I mean, it was cool to see a lot of the big monsters. So I go back. I did see a bunch of the old Japanese ones. I don't remember much about them. It's been a long time since I saw them. There was a Godzilla cartoon when I was a kid that was on, and Godzilla was a good guy. And you had Godzuki, I guess, was a baby Godzilla, which was the size of I don't know, a gorilla or something like that. So it was fun. And then the '98. One came out, Matthew Broderick, which was a huge disappointment because it was Dean Devlin and Roland Emmerich. I mean, they were sky high at the moment because they were coming off Independence Day. So, that was a bit, people made such a big deal about it, and it kind of shit the bed.
Well, I remember so much about that. I believe they had the Taco Bell tie-in as well, Andy, and the movie left us with we thought we got rid of all the Godzilla eggs, and there's a one hatching at the very end. That was intended to be a franchise that never got off the ground.
No, it was. Yeah, it was intended. Again, they were the big blockbuster production team at the time because Independence Day, it was kind of untested. Like people didn't Independence Day, people didn't know it was going to be the hit it was going to be. because Will Smith was still
The Fresh
relatively
Prince.
early. Yeah, he wasn't a bona fide movie star yet, and it was surrounded with like a lot of good actors. There were a lot of good, like Jeff Goldblum was hot off Jurassic Park, but there were a lot of good actors in there, but no like real superstars. I mean, Vivica Fox was a good name. You had Mary McCormick, you had Brent Spiner in there, Spinner, whatever. Robert Loggia, like a lot of good actors to great actors in that movie. It was just it kind of people thought it was going to be a hit, just not the hit it was. It was huge, and these guys were the biggest thing. And you put their names on something, people thought it was going to be a hit, and it kind of went the other direction. I mean, Hank Azaria was fine in it, and Matthew Broderick, a worm expert, is your lead, and Maria Pitillo, who was supposed to be a next big actress, that kind of really didn't do much for her. So, and Jean Reno, yes, yeah. Jean Reno, who was in it. It was just bad. I mean, I do want to see Cloverfield, because I think that's a similar type movie.
Oh, Andy, there might be another podcast. Cloverfield, a little quick second, sorry to cut you off, second, 30 to a minute diatribe. I loved Cloverfield. Cloverfield was the first movie that I fell in love with the marketing. That was like, I remember like the first virtual marketing where they were leaving clues like, go to this website, go to this. I was so obsessed with this movie when it came out. I was like checking all these websites and forums each day to see what people had tried to figure out. I remember people were like going line by line in the trailer where they thought it was like a giant lion or something. And then like, obviously it's not, but like I loved that movie. And sadly, like, they haven't had a true sequel. They try to like do like this weird franchise type thing, but I have read they are making a direct Cloverfield sequel.
Yeah. So I'll have to see the first one when it comes out there, before that one comes out. But I heard that's like a similar type movie. I did see the other Godzilla movies, the one with Bryan Cranston, and you had Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver married to each other. It was kind of weird. Yeah, the fact that Godzilla, that movie, Godzilla doesn't show up for like 40 minutes or something like that, right?
Yeah.
It's a long, long time before he shows up. They kill off, spoiler alert, they kill off Bryan Cranston relatively early into the movie as well.
And he was all in the marketing of the movie. I swear the whole trailer just showed all the scenes that he was in.
Yeah. No, you thought he was going to be like the face of the franchise, really, from the human standpoint. Now we get Coach whatever his name is from Friday Night Lights.
Coach Taylor.
Coach Taylor, yeah, I never watched the show. So that movie was okay. I mean, it was like fine, And then we had the King of All Monsters, which was cool, getting to see all the other Titans, I guess, on there. So I'm down for a Godzilla movie. So let's look at the other side, though. So we have Kong. What's your history with King Kong? Have you seen all of the movies? Have you seen some of the movies?
All right, Andy. Don't take away my PTBN pop experience credentials here. I have never seen a Kong movie. I mean, I know. It's shocking. It's like one of those blind spots that we've talked about on podcasts and in the PTBN Facebook
I have the Aliens franchise, so I'm not one to talk.
Yeah, it's just one of those like the story is like never like I've seen it just so much in pop culture that I feel like I don't have to watch the movie. Like the big gorilla falls in love with like the girl, and like we see him like on top of the Empire State Building while swatting at planes. Like I know that, so I'm like, why do I need to watch the movie? But I will say, just jumping ahead a little bit, one of the few things I did like about the movie was the Kong side of the story, which I thought was very well in this movie.
Yeah. So I saw the whatever 1930 whatever. I saw that years ago in a film class. It's fine. It was really ahead of its time. I saw the one with I believe it was Jeff Bridges and Jessica Lange. I saw that one when I was a kid. I honestly can't remember last time I saw it. Now the Peter Jackson one, long, bloated, but there are good parts of that movie. I would kind of recommend seeing that movie, but doing like an Irishman or Justice League, where you break it up, because there are some cool things in it. I mean, this was during the time when they were trying to make Adrian Brody an action star.
I remember that.
Yeah, so he's like a screenwriter, and he gets, they're shooting a film. Jack Black's the director, and they have Naomi Watts is like the star of the film. It's cool. I mean, they're Andy Serkis is in it, plays a badass cook in it. There's other decent characters. What's his name? About a Boy kid is in it. He's
Nicholas Hoult.
No, not him. Billy Elliot. I meant Billy. That kid played. He was in. He played the Thing in those shit Fantastic Four movies. Also, Jamie something. But so, it's long. But there's some actually really cool dinosaur sequences in this movie because it's like a forgotten island. It's like a land that time forgot. There's a giant insect scene that goes on a little too long. Just think of not as good action scene, not as good stuff as Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle. There's some similar stuff that happens in it, like the rhino stampede and stuff like that. There's a something like that happens in this one. But, and then there's a scene in Central Park where they're ice skating, which I thought was ridiculous. But it ends the same way most Godzilla movies end. And then you have Kong Skull Island, which I would highly recommend. That is a good film. It takes place in the 60s, right? You got Samuel L. Jackson. You have Tom Hiddleston. You have Brie Larson. The guy who played Dr. Dre in the NWA movie. Straight Outta Compton. He was in Straight Outta Compton. He played Dr. Dre. He's in that movie as well. John Goodman's in it too. So I mean, it's a good movie. And it kind of gives you Kong's backstory a little bit. And like, you see some giant ass creatures in this movie too. There's like a giant like water buffalo. There's some giant ass spiders. And then I believe was there another Kong movie that came out between now and then?
Not according to this. It was just Kong Skull Island.
All right. I just want to make sure I'm not having, as our friend Ben would say, a popcorn fart. But no, Scott, if you only have time to watch one King Kong movie, watch Kong Skull Island.
Okay, I'll check that out. I trust your recommendation for that.
All right. But it's, like I said, though, I saw that in theaters too. And by the way, my first IMAX movie, I think, may have been Fantasia 2000. So I'm really old. I did. I went to see that. My jaw was dropping though during that movie. Oh God, when we get to that on the Disney pod, I'm gonna gush. All right. So, what were your expectations though going into this? If it wasn't, let's just say, if it wasn't COVID right now, I mean, I know people that did go see us in the theater. I mean, I am not there yet. I still have one more, shot to get before I will feel comfortable going to a movie theater. Just my personal preference.
No, same here, Andy.
Would you have gone to see this though in the movie theater?
Yeah. As I mentioned on the original podcast of Blockbuster Rewind, just for all the PTB and Experience fans, I'm such a big movie fan. 2019 I saw 45 movies in the theaters, so wow. I took full advantage of the AMC stubs, and this would have been one of my 3 movies of the week. I would have seen it in theaters, and I would have loved it or hated it, which we'll get to. But I would have saw it in theaters. Would you have seen it in theaters?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would have seen it in the. See, I wish I had an AMC near me because they would lose a lot of money on me. I mean, I did Movie Pass, and I got my money's worth. I got more than my money's worth out of that. We tried Cinema. Didn't last as long as the other one did. But if I had AMC Movie Pass, I mean, I don't know if I've seen 45 movies in a year, and I go to the movies a lot. I mean, my girlfriend loves going to movies. That's one of our things we have in common, so we go a lot. And I'm one of those people that goes to movies alone. I don't care because I got started doing that in college. I was doing movie reviews. I wanted to go without anybody bugging me, so I could actually pay attention to the movie. So I go, they would do $6 movie nights here a lot in Connecticut. But we have the theater I go to has what's called it's Bowtie is the chain. I don't know if they have it down there, but they have it's called BTX, which is Bowtie Extreme, which is almost like a double size theater. You know, the seats are nicer. It's a much bigger room, and it's the audio quality is way better. Like I saw Gravity in there; it was insane with the audio. And it's not an IMAX screen, but it's like a huge screen.
Like one of those like Dolby like H.
Yeah, like everything like to the hilt. So I would have seen it in there, and it would have been worth it, I think.
Yeah, I mean the one I go to, it's like 50. It used to be in 2019. It was literally like a 30-second drive. Like I would be like, oh, I'm bored tonight. Let's go see what movies are, and I would book my AMC Movie Pass. You know, put on sandals and just go to the movies. Like you said, like I have no problem going to a movie alone. And in college, we actually had a dollar theater where the movies were just $1. They were like second run. They were about to be out of the theaters completely. So me and one of my good friends, Tucker, we would go every Friday, second semester, senior year, and just go see a crappy movie and spend $1. So yeah, I like you said, I just love going to the movies. It's something about the whole experience to me.
Yeah. I used to live 3 left turns from a movie theater.
Oh, it's so great.
If I literally in my old house, if I literally went down to the end of the street and walked through like this wooded area, I would be at the movie theater. But I had to go like a regular person and drive in the car, make a left, make another left, and there it is. No, but yeah. And then when I lived in the other town, when I lived near Scott, Criscolo, I lived halfway between the 2 movie theaters in the town, which is beautiful. Yeah, yes, I just love it. And there are certain movies that you have to see. Like I watched this at home on HBO Max, and I enjoyed it. My daughter and I actually watched it in two sittings. We watched the first hour. It was late Easter night, and then we finished it the next day. So, I mean, I have a nice sized TV. I mean, I have a 65-inch, so it was fun. But I would have much rather seen it in a movie theater. So going in, so you have no idea about like, you know, the history, like with like Millie Bobby Brown's character. I don't remember what she's called. Oh, and Kyle Chandler's in it, and right, and then Vera Farmiga played her mother, who, spoiler alert, was killed in the first one.
Yeah, that's what I got from, because all right, so I'm a huge Friday Night Lights fan. I named my dog Riggins from the TV show, and to see Eric Taylor, Kyle Chandler's character, Mark Russell, basically just be a glorified cameo is just so absurd in this movie. And Lance Reddick, who's a great actor, literally has one line in the whole movie, Andy. Yeah. And these people are like, when they start the movie, like you see their names pop up, and you're like, oh, this is going to be a decent cast. And like I know we're getting ahead a little bit, but
no, go ahead.
Like Millie Bobby Brown's character, whose name is Madison Russell, Brian Tyree Henry, who plays Bernie Hayes, and Julian Dennison, who plays Josh Valentine, or as I like to call him, Great Value Ned from the Spider-Man movies. You could have cut their part out completely, and it would not have changed the movie one iota. And when you can cut out quote-unquote big stars with Millie Bobby Brown and Brian Tyree Henry, who's coming up, and nothing changes, that is not good. And like I said, I know I said earlier in this that I just see these monster movies for the fights. I don't try to care about the story unless you try to force it on me. And I feel with a lot of the stuff, they try to force the story on me, and I couldn't give two shits. I just wanted to see these two big assholes fight each other. I don't care if they killed off all the humans. I just wanted to see them fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was the same way. I feel like, you could cut her out. You cut out, the kid from Deadpool 2, which was Great Value Ned. Yeah, I mean, Eric Sarsgaard's in it, who from True Blood, but he hasn't done much in terms of movies. He was in that really shitty Battleship movie.
Yeah, that was real bad.
And he was killed off in that. Plus, you have the daughter of the evil corporate guy, the evil CEO
of Apex Corp. Who didn't see
Apex
that?
Corp? Yeah. My daughter recognized that woman because she was in Baby Driver and she loves that movie. So, yeah, I mean, it was kind of like the humans are secondary. It's like I've talked about the Transformer movies plenty of times. I really didn't care about Sam Witwicky. I didn't want to care. I didn't need to care. They were just there. They're a means to an end, or ways to a means. I don't know what it's called, but they're just there because the movie didn't take place on Cybertron. basically, in the first Transformer movie, and they got less and less useful or necessary as the movies went on. To the fact that when Bumblebee comes along, it's nice, the relationship between him and Haley Steinfeld, but those Cybertron scenes were just unreal. And I was like, give me more of that. That's what this is. It's like they're plot devices, the humans in these movies. They're the reason, Kong is in the middle of the ocean to fight Godzilla. That's how he gets there, is because of the human characters. So they're necessary for that, but it could have been anybody playing them.
They could have stuck me or you in there.
Yeah, we could have been in there. So
I'll take the money. Don't get it twisted. But
so basically, it's 5 years after the last movie. Godzilla killed Ghidorah off, and him and Kong are the last known active Titans on Earth. Monarch, the company, now watches over Kong, who resides in the giant dome. And there's a little girl, Gia, who is a Iwi native, who's deaf but communicates. So Iwi, I believe, is the tribe or the people from Skull Island that Kong had a relationship with. They kind of like treated him like a god there, where they would pay respect to him and offer up things to him. I think, to keep the peace basically there, and now he's living in this sanctuary, I guess, so they can keep an eye on him. And Godzilla's out there and has been quiet for a while. And then they're Madison and her friend. She's listening to some podcast. Honestly, look, we're on a podcast right now. I love doing podcasts. I run a podcast feed. I hate when there's podcasts and movies. I really kind of do.
Well, with this one, I sort of got it because, the guy that played Brian Tyree Henry was supposed to be some crackpot conspiracy theorist, but it was this could have been done so many different ways. It could have been a YouTube channel that she was watching. It's just one of my issues that I have with it. And, of course, the one thing I did like about the movie was they said that they made it seem like the reason why Godzilla hasn't went after Kong, since they're both Titans, is because he can't sense Kong, is because Kong is in this big ass dome like you mentioned. So that, I thought that was pretty good storytelling. I guess Kong can't sense it because it kills his radar, quote unquote. But yeah, the first 5 minutes I was interested, and then the next 45 minutes up until we get to a big fight, I was just please, just can the power go out or something? Why did I start this movie?
Yeah. So basically, then they're testing out. They're trying to build Mechagodzilla, basically, which is the human-controlled robotic form of Godzilla, and is telepathically controlled by Ren Zarawa, who was the son of late Ishiro Serizawa. I believe that was from the first movie, the previous one. And they took the neural networks of Ghidorah. There's 3 heads. So there's one there. We see 2 of them, or we know of 2 of them. We don't know where the third one is, so that could be if there's another movie. So what happens is, though, they fire these neurons, I guess, in the severed head for Mechagodzilla, because I don't know. But it's also we're in Pacific Rim type territory here, which I love. I love the first one.
I love the first one. So.
Second one, yeah, not so much. But it's kind of like that with the kaiju. So where I think that is what wakes up Godzilla, or it says it's his spidey senses starts tingling and is somebody's messing with one of my enemies or something like that. I thought I got rid of it, which is what leads to the attack on Pensacola. Sorry, Jenny.
Hope you're safe, Jenny.
Yeah, we hope you're safe. But so that's what happens. He basically devastates the facility and parts of Pensacola, and they go and meet with Nathan Lind, who is a monarch scientist turned theorist on Hollow Earth. What do you think of this Hollow Earth theory?
So I do some weird shit, and one of them is when I can't sleep, I either read about horror movie franchises or crazy ass conspiracy theories to help me fall asleep. So I'd heard of the Hollow Earth conspiracy theory before. It's some crazy shit. If you believe it, great, but you're a little out there. So I like when they like go off on like tangents like this in movies if it's handled well. I really don't think this was handled well with like they just throw like a bunch of psycho babble science bullshit at you quickly and you're supposed to just like, yeah, okay, that sounds great. Like they're gonna have like Skarsgård characters like, says like if we can get Kong to Antarctica, he'll know where to go on the Hollow Earth because of like some homing device thing that some scientists believe that we'll always know how to find our way home. And I was like, all right, we're on some bullshit now, but let's just go. I'm here for it. But it was too much talking, not enough fighting, Andy. That's what it boils down to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, he basically convinces they work with him, I guess, and they want I guess they need something from Hollow Earth to get Mechagodzilla up and running, I believe. I think that's what the whole deal is, and the I'm trying to remember the bad guy's name, whatever. I'm looking here. I'm trying to find it in my notes here, but Walter. I guess it's Walter.
Walter Simmons.
Walter Simmons sends his daughter. Yeah, he wants to send his daughter Maya, I guess, to go on this expedition. And I'm like, oh, she's getting killed at some point.
Oh, 100%. I was like, you're dead. You're dead. You might stay alive. You're dead.
So they get this expedition and they have to go to Antarctica. How are they going to get the best way to get Kong to Antarctica, where I guess it has to do with the gravitational pull, and there's a station outpost there. How's the best way to get on there? By sea. And I guess Godzilla senses this and attacks the convoy, and while Kong is tied up, so that's kind of messed up. So Godzilla shows up. What do you think of this first fight?
I enjoyed it. Godzilla's wrecking shit. It's a little unfair because they're fighting in water, and it seems to be that Kong can't swim because Godzilla almost drowns him, and then the humans save them by shooting like missiles into the water.
Yeah, depth targets.
So so it's just like, okay, but they had like Kong. They had Kong all like chained up and everything, and like he has this touching moment where you find out he's been doing sign language with Jin as well, and she tells him they're going home. Basically, Rebecca Hall, the scientist character, and the girl Jin are being manipulated by Skarsgård and Walter's daughter. But less talking about the humans, more of like ass whooping, because I liked it. Like somehow Kong is able to like flip a ship back over, and it's fine for them to keep going. And then like Godzilla gets scared off, and Kong like collapses like on the ship, which doesn't sink, and they just keep going to Antarctica. So this is like the type of stuff we're dealing with. Like with these movies, you especially guys suspend disbelief, but like it's just even crazy, and it's gonna get crazier when they go to Hollow.
Yeah, it does. It does. I did enjoy this fight. Yes, Godzilla had the definite advantage, especially while Kong was tied up, and it was I kind of love this stuff because it's like them playing like with like it's like two kids playing fighting wrestling with all their toys around them kind of thing, and yeah, it was fine. It was kind of like this was like the preview, I guess. This is this is like the first, again, I like to call Scott a Mark, but we're all Marks here at Place Me Nation. It's like wrestling. This is like the first time matchup, but that there's going to be a rematch down the road, so they don't really show all their cards.
Yep.
In this one, they don't tip their hands. So it's a fun fight, and they got to figure out, all right, well, we can't keep going by boat because Godzilla's going to keep attacking us. So they get him by chopper, and they bring him down there, and he eventually goes in the hole, and they do this whole, we're getting through Hollow Earth, and I swear there was almost some, I don't know if it was Melancholia type stuff going on or something, but it was like where like the gravitational pull was opposite and inverted. I don't know.
It was weird, and like Skarsgård's character, we found out his brother had died trying to go through the hollow earth where it like sucked the gravity out of him and like he was dead within a second.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I got so many questions about the hollow earth. How is it still sunny in the hollow earth if we're inside the earth? Like, how did all these animals survive? Which we do get a fun scene with the hollow earth where like one of like, I guess these big ass like bat type bird wing dinosaur things attack Kong and almost like suffocate him, and the humans have to bail out Kong again, which we're seeing a lot of that when you say it. But like then he just rips this reptile bird apart, and then drinks its green blood. That was pretty cool. I can see more of that.
Yeah. So it's similar to Skull Island in there, and Kong kind of, I guess, has some ancestral or, you know, knowledge, like he knows he's supposed to do this. And then he finds a throne, and it depicts an ancient war with Godzilla's kind. And there's a glowing axe made from the dorsal plates of another Godzilla. Kong discovers that the power source can recharge the axe. The Apex team sends the power source signal back to their base in Hong Kong, but Godzilla, sensing the energy, makes landfall in Hong Kong and then directly attacks the throne room. Maya and the rest of the Apex team are killed by Kong while avoiding Godzilla's attack. So basically it's Kong, and the only survivors are Eileen, Gia, and Nathan. They escape through a hole to Hong Kong where Godzilla and Kong will fight again. Now, this fight, as some of our friends, and I apologize for the language, but some of our people would say, this fight fucks. This was I really enjoyed this big monster fight. What did you think of it?
I loved it. They beat the shit out of each other, and like we had seen before, like you said with this axe, because the reason why they wanted to go to the Hollow Earth was to get like this energy source that they send to Apex so they can use the Mecha Godzilla, and so they can fight Godzilla. They're able to send that, so it's like we got that shit coming in play now. We didn't know that Apex was a bad guy, but if you'd watched anything for 5 minutes, you realize, hey, these people are assholes and they're the bad guys. Because as always with these monster movies, it's not the monsters that are bad guys, it's the humans.
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind. But I love this fight. I love that they had his like battle axe, and like he's using that. They're whooping each other's ass, just destroying. It was Hong Kong, right?
Yeah.
Just destroying Hong Kong. This is when I have a little. Oh, and sorry. How Godzilla finds out that Kong is like, he senses he's in the Hollow Earth. Godzilla burns a hole with his fire breathing down and can see into Hollow Earth to King Kong. A pretty badass moment. Like, probably gonna have to close that part off forever in Hong Kong, but a badass moment. And I love Andy. They're just beating the shit out of each other. And then Kyle Chandler, might I add, who's been wasted in this movie, is somehow able to get from Florida to Hong Kong in maybe 5 seconds.
Well, one thing that we didn't talk about was that tunnel thing, where I don't know how long it took Madison and you know, Deadpool 2 kid and podcaster to get from Pensacola to Hong Kong, like under the earth, I guess, whatever, however they did it. But I don't know I don't think he took that way. But yeah, Godzilla's got, the one thing is Godzilla's got, like, it's like his RKO, basically, if we're gonna put it in wrestling terms, like that blue light that blue laser that comes out of his mouth. You get hit with that, you're done. And Kong luckily has his axe, his Stormbreaker, to you know, block it or develop it, because he knows, like, as soon as Godzilla, he sees that thing warming up, he gets the hell out of the way or he tries to avoid it.
Yeah,
it just mess you up.
It's awesome.
No, I love this fight. They beat the crap out of each other. They destroy half of Hong Kong, which I don't want to see Hong Kong destroyed for real, but I kind of like love this stuff. You know, like I said, Transformers did it in Chicago, Avengers did it in New York. Like, I love, like, you know, when they kind of play with sets a little bit, and you know, yes, there is so much collateral damage. You can imagine, like, millions of people, if this was real, would have perished. But it's not. It's a big dumb monster movie where you shut your brain off and just enjoy the fight. And
exactly.
Then though, it goes from a one-on-one match to a triple threat that becomes a handicap match, basically, when Mecha Godzilla gets involved, right?
Yeah, and that, see, and Mechagodzilla, of course, somehow has a mind of its own and takes out the bad guys, so they can't even be like publicly shamed. So they're killed. So it turns into like, and I was Andy, the
sentient Mechagodzilla.
yeah, a sentient Mechagodzilla. You call me this all the time. You allude to it. You call me a. This was the fucking mark in me that I was hoping that Kong and Godzilla would do a 3D to Mechagodzilla, because it would have been the greatest shit ever.
That would have been fun, or like a doomsday device or something.
Yeah, if they would have done if I look over and like Godzilla was holding Mechagodzilla up and like they just came with a heart attack or something, I would have lost my mind on that. But it was pretty awesome. It was a great fighting scene. Like I love like, hey, they now have a common enemy, one that's not really a Titan, but is positioned to be a Titan, because you see this Mechagodzilla has like spikes and like his tail turns into like a spear pretty much, and about to kill Kong, about to kill Godzilla, and Kong saves him, because when the Kong and Godzilla fight happened, Godzilla got the best of Kong. Like Kong looked like he was near death, and like they basically Skarsgård, used the ship. Sorry, this movie gets all over the place. Skarsgård does a defibrillator where he blows up the ship they used from the Hollow Earth to bring Kong back to life. Shit's bananas, okay? Just their logic out the window with this. They're like, whatever. It's like a 90s movie, action movie here. But it was great, and they team up to tear apart this thing. They use the big ass, like, I guess that's like an axe, and they just chop him up, and it's great.
Oh yeah, it's a fun big fight. It's kind of worth it, like the whole movie, just to see this whole fight. Yeah, I forgot to mention. Yeah, Godzilla basically is the alpha in this, and you could see that because look, as tough as Kong is, and most of us are Team Kong, I guess, for whatever reason, because I guess Kong actually has like a personality, and Godzilla doesn't. There's no human attachment to Godzilla in these movies, I guess. Lizards aren't touchy-feely like gorillas, I guess. I don't know. A dragon, whatever you want to call it.
It's weird. Everyone I've talked to is Team Kong. So, yeah, I don't get it. But, yeah, I do get it.
But, Godzilla has a lot of advantages, though. I mean, he's got the tail. He's got the laser stuff coming out of his mouth. He's got, Kong will never beat him in the water. So, which is 2/3 of the Earth. So obviously Godzilla would be the odds-on favorite going into the match. But you get Mechagodzilla in there, and they mess him up. I mean, he had his own atomic breath, or whatever you want to call it. But, they decapitate him, and they destroy Mechagodzilla. But then, the movie ends, and they bring Kong back to Hollow Earth, and I guess they're observing him. There's an observation post down there where Eileen and Gia are, and there's a reunion between Madison and her father with, Bernie's there and Josh is there, and there's a third Ghidorah head somewhere. So it definitely leaves it open. I mean, the fight was, Godzilla won the fight. If you say who won Godzilla versus Kong, Godzilla won by far. But there is a possibility, of there being another movie. What do you think of the ending? If it even mattered to you at all?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I always want these movies to succeed because I'm a big nerd. At the end of the day, I'm a big nerd. So I want these movies to succeed. I would like to maybe see another one. Like, I don't know if they had to do COVID reshoots. That's why you saw some characters basically just literally having a line to basically wiped away. I mean, I don't know what you would bring in with the MonsterVerse to like, so they could both challenge, because the way I saw it now is like Kong rules the land, Godzilla rules the water type deal. I guess you would have something that rules the air, and maybe that's who they have to go after. Maybe those face hugger type things that we had saw in the pods at Apex. But I mean, let's just give it another crack. Hell, it's something new, and I mean, it's not really new and different, but it's just I'm all in for this stuff because the nerd in me just was like, hell yeah, I'll watch it. Even though I kind of shit on this movie. So
yeah, a lot of the Titans were dispatched in the previous movie. I guess Hollow Earth is something. Maybe, some creature could try to take over, the title or challenge Kong, and Godzilla's got to come in. I mean, I don't know. I think Kong, there are times during this movie Kong kind of looked like a bitch. Because, Godzilla definitely.
You ain't wrong.
But, that's the only thing I could think of. And that leads to, Godzilla coming in, or, maybe Godzilla, something, I don't know, Megalodon or some giant thing. Godzilla and Kong's got to come in. They got to reunite. Maybe this was like the Batman versus Superman of the monster, first.
Yeah.
Where they fight and then they come together. And now we're going to have the Monster League or something. I don't know. Maybe something comes from space. That's kind of like where Godzilla came from. But you never know. Or another evil corporation could come up with something. There's an experimentation going on in a lab. Yeah, there's other possibilities. I just want to see monsters going at it. That's really what we want to see.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, excuse me. All right, so what would you give it out of a? I don't know. People do a lot of different rating scales. Are we doing a 10-point scale? Are we doing stars? What are we doing here? How was the limb work in this movie, by the way?
Limb work could have been better,
right.
But there was twitching in the fingers. So.
Okay. So what would you give it out of 10, though?
Out of 10, I give it a middle of the road 5.
Yeah.
Just with these movies, because I don't want to compare them to superhero movies. It's not like, the X-Men movies and Spider-Man movies of the early 2000s where they're like, some stuff's passable. We're used to good movies with stuff like this in this genre, and this just really wasn't one of them. I would suggest go to watch the fight scenes. Don't pay attention to the story at all, because like how we said, don't pay attention to Millie Bobby Brown. She's not needed. She could have been cut out. So I'll give it a 5 out of 10. If you have HBO Max, I'd say go watch it before it's gone.
Yeah. Now I would say 5.5, around there. Definitely, it's not ahead of Skull Island. It may be. It's a little more memorable, I think, than the last movie. The first movie, yeah, it's better than the first one in this Godzilla Renaissance or whatever. So it's definitely sad to say it's like in the top tier or top half of these recent giant monster movies. So it's worth a watch on the HBO if you have it. If you haven't watched obviously, if you're listening to the pod, you should have watched it by now, because sorry we spoiled it. If you did.
Yes, we spoiled a lot.
Yeah, which is in the description, so people know. Anyway, so that's going to about do it for us here. Scott, anything coming up in the next week or so you want to direct people to?
Yeah, I have. About the time you should be hearing this, we should have another episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier. We just went over episode 3. We will have me and Sean Kidd on Battlestar in the 25th Century, where we sit down and we watch old Battlestar Galactica and Buck Rogers. We just watched Battlestar Galactica episode 4. Most recent episode of Blockbuster Rewind with Oceans, which was Andy was our host for that. It was a fun episode. I love those movies, and that can be found on Twitter at Scott_Shifflett.
All right. Yeah. As for me, most recently, like Scott says, we have Pop Goes to the Couch. That's Falcon and Winter Soldier, dropping every week, usually Mondays or Tuesdays, depending if we can, the gang can get together and record early as better. We like to try, but sometimes, scheduling just gets in the way. The latest thing you'll hear from me as well is Pop Goes the Classics, 101 Dalmatians from 1961. That's me, Steve, and Miranda. We broke down that movie. Really a great movie, underrated. Has led to a lot of spin-offs too, though. So we talk about all that stuff in that episode, as well as we have Trivia Night. That's right, Trivia Night happening every week. The next episode is Marvel related. Don't know who all the contestants are yet, so I can't say who will be competing, but they will be our 8th winner, and we just have one more to go after that, and then we get into the real meat and potatoes of this game show is the semifinals to find out who will take home the big gold belt. All right, so check out all the feeds, though, here on the Place to Be Nation Pop Experience. Check out the Place to Be Nation Wrestling Network, the Jenny Position, North-South Connection, Go on Facebook, join the Place to Be discussion group. If you're not already there, go to placetobenation.com. Each and every day, all the articles and all the pods are there. So check it out. All right, so for Scott Shifflett, I am Andy Atherton. Thank you for joining us on Pop Goes and Movies, and we'll check you out next time there's a new movie that we can watch. See you later.
Bye.